Hey guys, it's me Helena and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the Saturn line. Challenging planet, not really supportive. It's a hard line to live on. If you currently live on a Saturn line, you know what I mean. If you were born on a Saturn line, it's rough. And I don't recommend anyone travel or retire on a Saturn line because of the restrictions and difficulties it can present. So let's get started with today's video. Before I do, I just want to let you guys know that I now offer one-on-one astrocartography readings. I've been studying astrology for a very long time, but 4 years ago I started learning about astrocartography, and I am now offering one-on-one video calls where I walk you through your map and your natal chart to give you detailed information on your story, your unique story in the world, and how the different energies play out for you, and give you some recommended places to live if you want to improve a certain area of life. For example, you want to find love, you want to feel more peace, more joy, you want to have more spiritual growth, you want to learn more, you want to take advantage of the opportunities that life and luck has for you. I would love to give you more detailed guidance on the different places that would best serve you and your particular areas that you're looking to improve on. If you'd like more information, I will include a link to my website down below in the description, helenawoods.com. You can click over to readings and there's some more detailed guidance on what you can expect during our astrocartography session. It's been such a joy connecting with so many of you guys on Zoom lately and just showing you your charts and telling you guys all about your soul story, and it's been so much fun. I've just been loving it. I'm so passionate about astrocartography and just astrology in general, and I am so excited to work with you if your intuition says it's a fit. Saturn is the line of discipline, rules, order, delay, and also restriction. I don't recommend people move to a Saturn line because it feels hard. It's also not good for health. Living on a Saturn line in general, but also specifically from my personal experience living close to one, there's a lot of delays in life. Like there feels like a restriction, like no matter how much you do or how hard you work or that discipline, sometimes it feels like the ball is moving very slowly. It's the opposite of Jupiter, where Jupiter just gives you opportunities and growth and that forward momentum. With Saturn, there's a feeling of restriction, like you're being held back and you're stuck and you can't move forward. It's also a great place to work. Like if you want to get work done, I always recommend going to a Saturn MC line. Like if you have a book that you want to write and you're not feeling motivated or you're procrastinating on it, move to a Saturn MC line. But other than that, I don't recommend moving to a Saturn line. Personally for me, I have, going through Paris and like the western part of France, I have a Saturn Ascendant line. So I'm not directly on it, I'm a little bit farther away, but I can still feel that energy due to the orb of influence. The energy of that line I can still feel from where I am. And it's associated specifically with the self and the body. So premature aging. It's hard on the bones and the teeth. It's not good for health. It's also a feeling of you being very mature and appearing very wise to other people, but there's a hardness that's also associated with that. Life on a Saturn line can feel hard and it can feel like a drag. Fortunately for me, I'm living directly on a Venus line, so that Venus energy of pleasure and beauty and being appreciative of life is kind of counterbalancing that Saturn. So there's kind of like a little neutrality there, I think, a nice balance for me. $10 says that I'm going to move to Paris or closer to that Saturn line on my Saturn return. Got my Saturn return coming up in a year and a half. $10 says I'm going to be moving to that Saturn line. We'll see if it happens. I'll let you guys know if it happens, but $10 says I'm going to be moving to that freaking Saturn line on my Saturn return. That would just be wild. I do feel like my skin is premature aging. Like I have so many lines on my face. I've got like, I don't know, maybe you guys can see it. Let me see if I can close up. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it would even work, but like I just have a lot of lines that are coming in, especially these two, and my skin isn't easily going back sometimes. Sometimes it'll be there for a while and I'm just like, I'm 27 years old. Why am I getting premature aging already? And listen, I don't want to do plastic surgery. I'm not into Botox. If you like Botox, great. I don't want to do it personally, so I'm trying to remain as much as I can for as long as I can. But being the naturally expressive person that I am, I like to move my face a lot, and so being on the Saturn Ascendant isn't really helping me, let's just say that. It's also just not good for the bones and the teeth, and so I gotta really think about that often. And honestly, the Saturn energy, it feels like a lot of hard work. Like, I feel like things don't come easily all the time for me, and I have to work hard and have the discipline and not quit and not give up and be diligent about what I do. And I feel like it doesn't come easily. I feel like if I lived maybe on a Jupiter MC line or a Venus descendant line or a Sun MC line, I might have a lot more lucky breaks or opportunities where, you know, things just get picked up really quickly, like things just start happening really fast. Living on a Saturn line, that's the opposite. It's your hard work leads to good work. And I think it's really important to look at your natal chart and to see where Saturn is in your chart and if it's making any aspects or lines to other planets, because that's going to tell you more information and more of a deeper comprehensive story on your specific Saturn. Because I have a nice trine to Jupiter natally in my chart, and my Saturn's in my house of creativity and self-expression, so all things creativity and artistic is where my Saturn is natally in my chart. Because I have that nice trine to my, it's a positive supporting line to Jupiter, which is the planet of good luck and opportunities. It basically tells me that opportunities will come to me when I work hard, and like if I'm consistent and diligent, the hard work will pay off. So I know natally that's what my soul came here with when I was born. Another thing to note when you're looking at your astrocartography map, you want to see the 4 angles. Is it an IC, descendant, ascendant, or MC? Because that's going to give you more information. I'll include that astrocartography video that I made recently where I take you through those different angles and what they mean. But another thing you want to look at in your natal chart is you want to see in your natal chart if Saturn is a more negative planet or if it's more neutral for you. Most positive and negative planet in your chart is determined by the sect of your chart. If you have a day chart, the most positive planet is going to be Jupiter, and the worst, the negative planet, is going to be Mars. If you have a night chart, the most positive planet is going to be Venus. The most negative and challenging planet for you is going to be Saturn. So if you have a night chart, I wouldn't recommend going to a Saturn line because that's going to be even harder for you than typical. For me, Saturn feels more neutral than a Mars line. Mars is way more challenging for me. Mars energy in general is taken to a negative extreme for me. So I know that Saturn, it's not as bad for me to travel to a Saturn line as if I move to a Mars line. Like Mars, no go. I'll include that video also down below. If you want to watch that video on Mars and my story with traveling to a Mars line, I'll include that below. But you want to look at the sect of your chart and see if Saturn is really difficult for you or if it's more neutral. Because if it's more neutral like it is for me, you're going to feel it, but it's not going to be as intense. Just as all things in life have duality, so do the planets. The planets have positive and negative themes around them and significations. And the positive side of Saturn is discipline, rules, getting it done, being consistent, that Capricorn CEO boss energy that's associated with Capricorn and Saturn. So again, Saturn can be beneficial and supportive. If you want to write that book, go to a Saturn MC line. If you're procrastinating on work or something and you need to get it done, go to a Saturn MC line, or just be close to a Saturn line if you really want to get it done. But personally for me, on the Ascendant, this is how I appear to other people. So it's maybe not recommended just because I don't want to appear more Saturn-like. I would rather appear more Jupiter-like, which is, I think, way more fun. That's my experience living on a Saturn Ascendant. I'm not directly on a Saturn, but I still feel it. Because it's going through Paris for me in my chart. So that's a little bit about Saturn for you. You can go to astro.com, click Astro, click Travel, and look at your own chart, your own map, and see where you have Saturn in the world. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, I'd love to work with you one-on-one and give you some more detailed guidance on your natal chart and specifically your astrocartography map, and just give you more information and grounded spiritual guidance. I'll include my website down below if you want to book a reading with me. I'd love to work with you. And other than that, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps to support my channel, and I would love to hear from you. Do you live on a Saturn line? And if you do, what is the energy like? I'd also be very curious to hear from fellow Saturn Ascendant people. If any of you have Saturn Ascendant where you live or where you were born, or if you've traveled to a Saturn Ascendant line, I would love to connect with you. Just be nice to get some more opinions and feelers out there for how you're experiencing this line as well. But other than that, I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and I'll see you next week here on my channel. Bye!